It is here. Hey guys, how's it hanging? It's Eric Blue Jay here, and it appears that a brand new trailer for A Couple of Cuckoos Season 2 has been revealed. A lot more animations, a lot more shots, and a small listen to the brand new OP. So let's talk about it. This video will have heavy spoilers as we're going to deep dive into the context of every single shot and showcase every single source manga panel. So if you would like to go into Season 2 blind, feel free to click the annotation in the top right corner to watch my spoiler-free analysis of the trailer. So let's get into this trailer breakdown video, but before we do, if you are new here, just consider leaving me a subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us on out into that YouTube algorithm. So here we go, we appear to open up the trailer with a rear shot of new character Mochizuki walking away from the perspective. She seems to be in town during sunset, likely walking home. This shot comes from Fowl 67. Takes her leave from the Ami-Umi house as Nagi chases after her. After catching up, he explains himself and his current situationship, hoping to get to stop thinking of him as a love interest. Retaliates, saying she'll be making some changes. So to start with, she asks if Nagi would mind walking her back home. From that mysterious shot, we transition to some text on the screen that says, "I'm back, your childhood friend." Since there, we have standing in the Ami-Umi house, shouting while blushing, and judging by these speed lines, this must be really intense and serious for her. Now, this comes to us from Fowl 66, as claims she came back to Japan so that she could marry Nagi. So if you guys know, this season is going to cover how the Mochizuki family has moved to China when she was a kid. However, her family eventually had a falling out, and all of them went their separate ways, having this move being the worst mistake of the family breaking their family tie. And from what I had just stated, it's shocked Erika and Sachi greatly, but not only them, Nagi too. Likewise, from Fowl 66, these shots are reactionary shots of Erika, Sachi, and Nagi, reacting in great shock to Ai's declaration of marriage with Nagi as he screams, "Marry?" We swipe to another card with text furthermore stating, "And the reason is marriage," which makes a lot of connections knowing that A Couple of Cuckoos is all about an arranged engagement. Swapping out from this shot, we have Nagi and staring each other down. They do appear to be quite serious upon one another, and I feel like Nagi is out of words in this scenario. This comes from Fowl 67, as demands that Nagi looks at her in the eye as they quite literally stare each other down. Eventually breaks the stare, telling him not to look at her because it makes her heart race. Over here is a really quick shot of smiling, and the precious smile that it is must be protected at all costs. This comes right after tells Nagi she's come back to Japan to marry him, and she's so relieved she finally got to say that after all these years. And here is a super funny shot as it appears that Nagi and Erika are playing Jenga, a game where several wooden blocks forming a tower where both players are tasked to remove a block without disrupting the tower's stability. Likewise, this comes to us from Fowl 66. This is directly after Nagi and Erika look at this girl named Sachi brought into their home. This girl that Nagi hasn't seen in several years. Practically lost all contact. I'm sure that anyone would have lost a game of Jenga just to see her again. This is a shot that reads, "Original work, Miki Yoshikawa, serialized in Kondansta's weekly shonen magazine." This leads into Erika freaking out on appearing to yell at her as the two go back and forth. In this moment, seems to be very chill and calm, as Erika seems to be quite stubborn and, dare I say, maybe even jealous. This scene is straight out of Fowl 72, while playing a game of darts to settle a bet. If Erika wins, is to never enter their home again. Ergo, she won't bug her anymore, and if wins, she's allowed to come over whenever she'd like. While Erika is taking a shot, distracts her, asking out of the blue if she's had sex with Nagi yet. Erika lashes back, shouting, "No, I haven't." The shot of Erika retaliates how she's seen his man parts before, as Ai turns it around saying she's seen them too, but only before he hit puberty. And since this argument is held in a public environment, this greatly embarrasses Nagi. From here, we are going to be seeing a few repeated scenes from the first trailer, so I'm going to be skipping over these as I've already talked about them before in my trailer breakdown of the first trailer. Okay, so here we have another funny one. We have a triumphant Erika here smacking her fist onto her palm as Nagi observes her in a shocked way. It looks like she's gotten a great idea of the sorts, if that's even possible. From Foul 69, while talking about what it's like to love somebody while rolling some towels, Erika cracked a great idea all of a sudden. She abandons folding, pulling Nagi away too, just to play with sparklers outside, continuing the conversation. Sachi takes focus on her next shot. She's all dressed up, looking absolutely adorable in a super pretty outfit. This takes place within herself and Erika's bedroom. Looking in the mirror, it seems that Sachi is going to have a night on the town, if you will. Foul 70 this is from, entailing Sachi about to head out for a date with a boy named Matsuda. In this scene, she asks how she looks, as Erika fawns how she's the cutest in the world. It appears that directly after this shot of Sachi, Nagi and Erika appear very shocked and confused. Likewise, from Foul 70, this details Nagi and Erika's confusion regarding Sachi's date with this mystery man. And later in this trailer, we'll see one more shot similar to this context. During this area, Erika has a ring on her middle finger. Strangely though, it does randomly swap to her pointer finger. In adaptation, this shot cuts off her lower finger, so it is unclear if the adaptation will maintain this detail. Things are getting thirsty, and I think I might grab a quick drink myself actually. That's some good water. However, it appears that Nagi and Erika are hanging out at night in front of a vending machine. They both have a drink with them as Erika holds her can up in triumph. No guys, not those cans, that one. Nagi, on the other hand, is just quietly sitting on the curb, looking like he's reflecting on something or thinking about something. Now, I'm excited to see this area from Foul 65. Erika rewards Nagi for his bravery and facing his fate by buying him a hot corn soup drink. Erika, on the other hand, bought cola for herself, and she's really satisfied with it, I've gotta say. On the topic of fate, the next piece of text asks, what is fate? And this comes toe-to-toe with Nagi appearing very serious, as if you look in the background, he's currently standing in Megiddo Shrine. So this shot clearly has something to do with changing Hiro's fate. Coming from Foul 62, Nagi tells himself this time he won't be running from fate, so he'll rescue Hiro from her fate, in turn changing it. And on that note, we have more text answering the question with, you have to carve it out yourself. Right here where Nagi takes Hiro's arm and pulls her towards him, appearing to, indeed, save her from her fate. Likewise from Foul 62, Hiro narrates in her head, Umino, show me you can change my fate. Okay, so this shot is an interesting one. It appears that we have Hiro absolutely lashing out towards Nagi, screaming at him in anger. Hiro, however, in this scene looks very different. If you look at her face, she seems to have glasses and long hair, so this will be fascinating to see the origins behind this shot. Now, since you guys know the content Season 2 is going to cover, you and I both know that we're going to see the origins of Hiro Sagawa, coming from Foul 63. The original version of Hiro used to be a quiet, shy, and sometimes stubborn girl with a completely different appearance as we know her today. Once she met Nagi and revealed herself as more intelligent than him, this changed her overnight with a brand new appearance, capturing the attention of the entire student body, turning her into the most beautiful, perfect, and popular girl in Megiddo Academy. Now, our next shot feels spectacular. We appear to have Ai holding her fingers in a camera format, looking straight at Nagi, who's sitting on a curb. And once again, this is not our first time seeing Nagi sit on a curb. We saw that just a few minutes ago in the trailer, and from that, he appears to be quite nervous while smiling. Foul 67 details this iconic scene, and in fact one of my all-time favorite panels in the manga. While Nagi walks Ai home, they take a detour down memory lane. Since they are childhood friends after all, they reminisce over this old candy store that seemingly turned into a 5-11 store since they were kids. Ai reminisces over a My Dear Super Bowl lottery she's always tried to win back then, but never did. Back then, she didn't get what she wanted, but this time, she'll get what she wants, and that is her dear Nagi. Look at this glorious sunset. Here we have a shot of Ai panning upwards. From the looks of it, this shot very well may come right after the very first scene of this trailer. From Foul 67, we simply have Ai asking Nagi, would he mind walking her home? Okay, now this looks interesting. It appears we have Nagi leaning back on a wall, embracing Erika. Entailed by Erika's face, she appears to be fairly embarrassed. But she doesn't look to hate this in the slightest, especially when you notice all of the blushing she does in this scene alone. Nagi and Erika are tailing Sachi while she's on a date with a boy named Matsuda during Foul 70. The two think they're about to get caught by Sachi, so Nagi pulls Erika behind this wall, holding her tightly not to be seen. However, Erika's heart starts racing pretty fast being in this situation. It looks like Nagi is eating a hefty meal, and we can see that his iconic tall portions haven't changed since season 1. But with that in mind, it appears that he's crying, so it'll be quite interesting to see everything behind the scene when the new season comes out. Rolling back to Foul 59, this is when Hiro began living at the Ami-Umi house, which the new season will be rolling back to cover. You know, I just noticed it'd be funny to edit the finale episode of Season 1, because Season 2 is going to have some content that goes directly in the very middle of that very finale episode, so I honestly kind of wonder what that'd look like. At this time, several emotions are flowing through Nagi, so much so that he's crying during this meal. Yes, eating a meal with friends and family that night caused him to cry in front of these 3 girls. Running away with your fate in your hands. It appears that we have Nagi and Hiro sitting on a bench at night with a paper bag sitting next to Nagi. As we progress through the trailer, it appears that that paper bag held a burger and fries meal, presumably from a fast food joint close by. Hiro seems to offer Nagi a bite of her burger, and we all know where this is going. An indirect kiss from Hiro from her burger. All of this is from Foul 64. This comes right after Nagi takes Hiro's hand and runs away with her, saving her from her fate. Hiro finds herself to be hungry while Nagi realizes he only has 1,000 yen on him. So instead of 2 bus tickets, Nagi instead purchases a meal from McDonald's for him and Hiro to share. Nagi says he's fine just having fries, but Hiro insists Nagi can have the other half of the burger, and yes indeed, he does see this as an indirect kiss from his crush. Skipping over a few repeated scenes from trailer number 1, we return with this brand new shot of Sachi. It appears that she's sitting on the floor leaning against the couch. She seems to be lost in thought while blushing, so this shot will definitely be exciting to check on out when the episode arrives. And I say that because this scene has literally no source origin, meaning there's no panel that even resembles this image. On the other hand, we do know this belongs to the contents of Foul 72 to 73, which covers the game of darts. We know this because of the shirt Sachi is wearing, but as mentioned, there is no shot that resembles this within the manga, so this will be an anime original shot in of itself. So, coming to a close of the trailer, we get a breathtaking shot of the girls wearing their yukata. According to each of their faces, they all appear to be quite determined. Nagi, on the other hand, seems quite fearful, covering his face with his hands. From Foul 75, during the Meguro festival, Hiro challenges Erika, Sachi, and Ai to the cosplay competition event with the prize of 2 amusement park tickets, and this is of everyone's determination. As you can see, the order is differently placed from the manga into adaptation, and with all of the tension in the air at this given moment, and especially between Hiro and Ai, if you know, you know. try not to get on Hiro's bad side. Nagi has a bad feeling that this is going to be an absolute bloodbath, wrapping up with a card that reads broadcast starts in July. And just to be clear, July 8th to be exact. With an ending scene of Erika bending over, pointing her finger upwards. This shot does appear to be in slow motion, so that is an interesting detail. The person Erika's speaking with might see her in an all-new light, or he may just be Druzy. I can say for certain this feeling wasn't portrayed through the manga via Foul 65. Right after Erika buys Nagi and herself a drink from the vending machine, right after the beverage, Erika says that Nagi is no good without her around, letting off a playful smile and a giggle in her favor. So yeah guys, that was the new trailer. This trailer was absolutely hype, and definitely my favorite out of the two. I've made a statement prior to this, but I think this trailer had a lot more variety this time around. And if the first trailer didn't do it for you, then this one surely would. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy, and if you did, just consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, tell me what you thought, which scene is your favorite, and which trailer is your personal favorite. If you'd like to see my reaction to this trailer, click the video you're currently seeing on your screen. Or maybe if you'd rather see a breakdown of the latest big batch of news for A Couple of Cuckoos Season 2, which if that's the case, click the other video that you're currently seeing on your screen to continue the discussion.